Hey guys, let's say bringing you another video. Now, welcome to a viewer spectates or a viewer coaching spectate, if you will. We don't do these as often, and if you guys do like them, please do let me know because I'll try and do more of them. But we're watching Ace. He's probably the viewer of mine that we've done the most of these episodes with. This is actually an alternate account of his that he's basically made, leveled up himself to do two things, I believe. It's one, like, have a newer account that he can kind of pick a few different champions on and not feel kind of as bad, you know, being on the main account, as it were. And he also mentioned, like, he might do a bit of duo queuing on this account, but he wants his main account fundamentally to stay solo queue. So I respect that. But we are playing NAAFIRI today. And this champion is quite an interesting one. She is a modern assassin that in some people's books was kind of a failure. Now, the reason why even Riot may say that is fundamentally she's slightly a contradiction to the class of assassin. So what does that mean? So NAAFIRI is a very basic assassin. She's very easy to play, and that's by her design. I remember being in the dev meeting of this champion, and they said she is very basic. She is very kind of easy, but that's what they wanted. They wanted an approachable assassin that anybody could play. Now, straight away, obviously what you're looking to do as NAAFIRI, especially into a melee matchup, which obviously is Yone, is landing the Qs is obviously the bread and butter of this champion. Now, you're doing it for wave clear, and you get all 6, which is good, and that puts the pressure on the Yone. It puts pressure on the wave is obviously going to push into tower, and he might miss the occasional one. But with NAAFIRI, just to make it very clear, obviously you're trying to hit both of your Qs on the enemy champion. So there's one, and now we want to try and see the follow-up and see if you can land that as well. Unfortunately, a miss. But obviously, that's where the big damage comes in with her Q, is landing back-to-back Qs. So that should always be near enough your priority on this champion. Now, by design, an assassin, and kind of why her kind of design, you could say, has failed a little bit, is assassins fundamentally are supposed to have what, you know, I said is outplay potential, that you can do skillful based things that people can't predict fully with mobility or whatever, and you can outplay people. But the problem with NAAFIRI is she doesn't really have that. She's very one-dimensional, and she doesn't really have that kind of, like, you know, Z shadow, go this way, then go this way. Everything about this champion is quite obvious that she's just jumping in basically in a straight line. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it just kind of is quite not normal for the class of assassin. Now, the champion herself, and, you know, Ace is running First Strike, but also running TP. TP, obviously, in modern meta is a lot more common. However, I would say most of the time you're playing like a proper assassin. I would say Ignite is probably still fundamentally a good thing, at least on the NAAFIRI, depending what your playstyle is. Now, again, Ace is a view of mine, a very old school view of mine, so I wouldn't be surprised, has a similar view on mid lane than I do, that I don't love roaming, and I'd imagine Ace might be roughly the same as that, and maybe that's why he's going TP, because, you know, if you're not going to roam that much, but you're going to roam a little bit, and that's what I do, maybe you do your occasional roam, but then you instantly teleport back to mid lane. I kind of get that. TP obviously scales better. Nice engage. I like this engage, by the way. So why do I like this engage? I like it, and I would have actually continued a little bit more if I'm completely honest, is because the engage actually happened that you had minions and he didn't. So you had extra damage on your side where he had no minion damage on his. I would, again, re-engage on that. You've got your Amumu nearby, and the Force Flash happens. So yeah, that's not bad. I think you could have been a bit more confident. And that's one of the things that Ace did say in this replay, is he has a bit of a passive early game. He eventually starts doing a bit better, but he doesn't know, like, should have he played a bit more aggressive. And so far, I would say in that specific instance, yeah, I think you probably could have played a little bit more aggro. You would have probably been surprised. Again, potentially waiting for the Jax E to finish, then do the W. You knew the Jax E would be coming. This is where, again, you're trying to predict what the enemy champion is going to do. Jax is easily going to press his E, and then I would have looked for the W. I doubt the kill would have happened, but that would have most likely forced the flash to occur, and that obviously is a good situation to force a flash out of a Jax, or any champion, really. So, mana's getting fairly low. Farming, very even, but not bad. I'd imagine though, and this is the thing, as an assassin-based, champion, most assassins, like all assassins, are very item-based, and you also want to try and snowball. I would, the moment that you have that like 1100 gold, I would go back and get that like first serrated dirk, because that is such an item power spike that I would get it as quick as possible. You've got teleport, get back to lane, and if you can time it that you do it before a Yone goes back, I would go for an all-in and see if you can get a kill. So you are going for a bit of a fight. You know Yone doesn't have his E, so this is a well-timed fight. Again, think you could have fought a little bit more there, especially that you're about to hit level 6. If you're looking at your XP bar during the fight, you would have seen one more minion kill that your minions were giving you would have given you that level 6. So yeah, so far there's 2 fights that I think you could have just pushed it a little bit more. And hell, I think maybe a kill would have actually happened, potentially. Considering Yone had no absolute escape. He wasn't level 6, you were actually beating him then, and he doesn't have flash. He already used his E. So yeah, I think that was maybe a kill opportunity missed. Oh, interesting. So you're going for the Brutalizer first item, not a serrated dirk. My only guess with this would be it'd be a Profane Hydra. Which is fine. You don't have to do the serrated dirk. You can go Profane first. Now, again, the nice thing about Profane, not just the raw damage it gives you, it obviously gives you wave clear. This is a good idea. I like this. Get in front of him. Get in front of him. Okay, you get the kill anyway. Really nice. Yone played that really slow. He could have probably gotten away. I like that. Really good. So again, you notice I've come back. He hasn't based yet. I would fight that Jax. I would have probably just fought that Jax. You have 4 dogs up right now. You'd be doing a lot of damage to him. So yeah, I potentially... a little bit lack of confidence. But again, if you're new to the champion, you're obviously still learning the champion. So you can't be too hard on it. But yeah, I definitely feel you could have a little bit more confidence of like going forward, going in. But that's fine. Again, it's nothing terrible at the moment. It's nothing bad. Again, you're doing the right thing of when Yone uses E, you're backing away. Obviously, that's a time that Yone is looking really aggro, but you did sacrifice yourself a cannon for backing away really far. And it's worth knowing when you're so far ahead, and I'm not saying you are right now, but I want to potentially eventually see you not back away when Yone's using E. If you do get ahead, it's not like oh, I have to run away. A lot of the time, Yone's gain false confidence when he's going for his E, and you actually can just straight up kill them. So that's one thing just worth saying. So I do like, obviously, Profane. It is worth knowing. I do like Profane on a lot of mid lane assassins because it gives you wave clear. But the thing to kind of follow up on what I'd be wanting to see is if with the extended wave clear that you're getting from Profane, are you going to use that 1v4 your Mumu? Nice bubble. Are you going to use that as the kind of catalyst to, right, I can wave clear really quick with double Q into Profane proc? There is, I'd like this. You could potentially go for this steal. Let's see if we prioritize the dragon. That's what I would do. Very nice. Very good. And then you could also go for this. Propping your ulti to gain vision, but again, it's good. I'm not saying it was a bad thing to use ult. Was it necessary? Probably not, but a kill is a kill. But yeah, what I'd like to see is if you do go Profane, I'd like to see the kind of more powerful wave clear that you'll have be used to start potentially roaming a little bit. Or at the very least, like, people don't even think about it, but, you can invade this Jax. You can go in his jungle and absolutely cause chaos. So that's what I'll be looking to see if that does happen. Obviously, top lane not going too well for the Fiora. Again, Volibear is a very annoying pick. And it is worth knowing, I think Volibear is a lot more powerful in low rating as well. He basically is a very one-dimensional basic champion that is a absolute stat stick. That's what he is. He's an absolute stat stick, and in an absolute 1v1, if you're not playing great, it's very easy for a Volibear just to walk on top of you. And like when it comes to Fiora, yeah, a Fiora should do well against a Volibear, but that includes, riposting pretty much perfectly when he's going for his Q. It's hitting your vital marks really well. So I'm not shocked if Fiora is struggling, because I do think Volibear is a very powerful pick. Worth knowing rating-wise, this is like bronze on EU West at the moment. Ace on this account has only just completed his placement games. So yeah, it's very low ranking. I think Ace himself is a bronze, maybe silver player on his main account. But he's someone that is looking to improve. Some of you, if you have watched these, he obviously has done a few support commentaries with us before. So he's obviously trying to transition into more of a carry role, which is good. You can climb and carry with support. I've shown that before. but it's harder to do. So yeah, the Fiora unfortunately is dying again. And when you're losing this badly in a 1v1, it's very unlikely that it's just going to suddenly turn around. So what the Fiora needs to do is just stop fighting him. But a lot of players find that really hard to do. It's weird that a lot of people find it hard to do, but they really, really do. So kill on Ezreal down in bot lane, which is very nice. The Seraphine on the enemy team is doing the completely wrong build. When you're playing Seraphine support, you no longer go AP. She is fundamentally a support, and it's so much stronger as a support item champion now. So when you do see Seraphines still building AP, yeah, they're just unfortunately misinformed. If you want to play AP Seraphine, don't play her in the support role. Play her as the carry bot lane role, as the AD carry role. Even you can probably still play her mid, but she's not that powerful anymore in terms of being a carry. She's a lot better as a pure support. Her shielding with support items in late game is wildly strong. So anyway, back with Profane. So what I want to see, okay, early ultimate, interesting. Yone uses his flash. Oh, he's actually going to fight. Continue this fight. Continue this fight. Keep fighting him. Keep fighting him. Keep fighting him. I would have gone nearer his body because he was going to snap back to that. So I would have predicted, you know, the snapback. So keep fighting him, but while moving back to his, like, spirit body that he's going to teleport to. But still, I like the confidence. You got Profane, and you're like, right, I need to do something with this. Let's go. Probably, again, you're going over to help the Amumu, but you are potentially going to be losing a tower plate. Yep, that's a tower plate gone, so that's 125 odd gold gone. But if you help kill the Volibear, it's obviously not a bad situation. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. To beat this Volibear, you guys need to work together. And unfortunately, during the CC of the Amumu, you kind of ran away. Jax is now re-engaging. And that's unfortunately a situation that's kind of turned around not too well. Again, the Fiora obviously is very weak right now. Again, potentially would have looked for a bit of damage there just to deter them. But yeah, there's definitely, I would say, because you're newer to the champion, so what I would just say is this is just Ace not knowing the limits of how he can fight with NAAFIRI. I don't know why you're backing out that far. Again, I don't actually... There's no dive potential because Volibear doesn't have his ult. So I think you probably could have stayed to clear this, but it is what it is. So going to go back. Obviously, Profane has got Merc Treads is a choice. Is it the right one? Yeah, to a certain extent. So Merc Treads is good, obviously, anti-CC boot. We are on the patch that boots aren't as strong nowadays. And there is, I would say, there is definitely an argument that should they turn boots into somewhat of like a trinket item, I actually see a world that they should. And for those that are like, really? Yeah, because nobody ever goes, like... You're either, like, a few items into your build. You never say, you know, I'm 4 items complete. It's like... Boots don't count as a full item. But, like, they count when you're 6 items because you can't buy anything else. I kind of feel like it's just... It's an item that everybody needs to get. And when it's that kind of mundane, oh, you have to buy it, should it just become a default, doesn't take an item slot? I definitely feel there is an argument for it. You know, and make them basic. Like, it sounds weird to say, but, like, make a trinket slot that only gives movement speed. Like the all-in attempt. So, again, he's over here. So, you're fighting him, but he's going to go here. Start moving that way quicker. So, that's one thing I would say. Is right now, you're fighting the Onit. I like the confidence. I like you're going for these fights. But the moment he uses E, you're getting baited too much to be on his physical, like, he's fighting you. He has to pop back over to that way. So you can just wait there. Like, you don't actively have to fight him when he's got his E up. You just wouldn't wait at his body. That's where he's going to try and escape from. And sometimes you're getting baited a bit too far away from then when he's going to pop back. He can just yeet away and then he's fine. So unfortunately, this Fiora is just falling for the unfortunate trap of just fighting constantly, and it's not going to be recoverable. So we've got Ziggs teleporting, obviously, to bot lane. And yes, it is a Ziggs bot lane. Obviously, a bit of a questionable pick in terms of actually playing Ziggs at the moment. If you had, like, an AD carry mid, which obviously NAAFIRI's not an AD carry, she's an assassin, I'd be kind of okay with the pick. The problem that you've got is AD carries are really strong right now. You know, yes, they've been nerfed, but not really. They're very powerful. So to not actively have an AD carry is rough. I wouldn't really play an AP bot laner unless you actually have someone on your team playing an AD carry. So Dragon's been killed, which is good. Nice to help secure that. Obviously, Volibear, the one thing I will say, he looks like he's doing like a proper AP build. I don't know if it's Jack of all trades Volibear. We can maybe look into it. It's not Jack of all trades Volibear. So he might be pretty squishy eventually into the mid to late game if he doesn't end up going more tanky. And there is a point, that critical mass point, that a Fiora most likely will eventually beat a Volibear, but it'll take a very long time considering how much the difference is between those two right now. Just how the champion is designed, obviously Fiora is very, very good at killing like tankier things in 1v1 later. For those that are like, really? Her vital marks alone do 5.8% max health true damage. So each vital mark you're hitting, it's doing that. And then when you're putting an ultimate on somebody, Fiora reveals all 4 vitals on the champion for a maximum of 23.2% health damage. So just your ultimate is doing over 23% health damage, not including anything else that you're doing. And not including any other vitals that you did before the fight. Like, it's kind of nuts. Now, the problem that the Amumu is doing, nice coming over. I do like this. Continue fighting. Do get the Jax. I would now back away. Nami is on her way. Maybe the re-engage can happen. Oh, Nami missed her bubble. But yeah, a re-engage I think could happen. You just have to play it smart. He's re-engaging as well. But yes, good confidence. I like you went back in. That's exactly what you needed to do. Because that Volibear fundamentally would have just run away and survived. And that would have been a lost opportunity of a shutdown. So that's really good. You yourself now are on a shutdown, so always be careful about that. But, whoa! Straight up into a Serpent's Fang. So I get why the Serpent's Fang has been purchased. Would I have bought one this early? No. But again, the reason why it's been purchased is obviously Yone technically has a shield with his W, and the Seraphine has got shielding with her W as well. The thing is, Serpent's Fang isn't bad. I would say I would put it akin to an anti-healing item completing that, and you wouldn't really complete that second item. You need your core fundamental strength items first, and then you can think about the optional stuff. I would put it as an optional 3rd, but probably 4th item. And the thing as well, this game, is the Seraphine is not doing the support build. She's doing the AP build, so her shields aren't even going to be that big. AP scaling on W shields isn't that strong. What makes the shield so strong is all the support items that are constantly giving her 10% more shield and healing, 10% more healing and shielding. And it gets up to like 50% healing and shielding, then her shields are really strong. And she's not doing that build, clearly. So going for an ultimate, I like, and this is what I said earlier, when you have your profane, you should be looking for these roams, and that's what you're doing, so that's really good. Seraphine did flash, tried to use her ultimate, but you killed her before, so she still has that available. But yeah, I like that you are looking for these roam plays. Obviously, mid tower has already died, so it's not like you're missing out on mid tower. And Yone, right now, I would say he obviously doesn't have the pressure to be actually going for the tier 2. Obviously, it is going to be, you know, a little bit chunked down by minions, so you do have to be more careful the lower it goes. Fiora is definitely in trouble. I doubt she's going to survive this. So they're looking for her, and they found her. I think she would have been better off that when they were on their way here, she probably would have been better off hiding here initially. I would go for this tower if you can with the team. Engaging on the Jax. I think you could have continued that fight. You had the Nami nearby. I think you actually could have continued on that Jax and probably killed him. But again, it's that kind of having that extreme confidence and knowing you can go for it. And I think that just comes in time. This is like, you know, if I had to guess, this is probably under Ace's 5th game of NAAFIRI. So you learn that confidence over time. Meanwhile, Fiora is still alive. She actually survived that ordeal against the Volibear and the Yone somehow. Honestly, no idea how she did, but fair enough. She needs to be careful, though. He will just dive. I like that Ace is coming here, though. This is a good plan. The Volibear is definitely overextended. An ultimate again. He obviously doesn't have his ulti as well. You've got a Mumu, lovely Q, and the Volibear, obviously with a very greedy build of buying like a Rift Maker first item, is just going to get annihilated by a champion like NAAFIRI who is doing a lot of damage with armor pen and everything like that. So it's good to see. I like it. Thumbs up from me. So 600 performance right now. And again, not the fact that, like, you know, oh, you got no assists. None of these kills, really, you've just kind of stolen. Even, again, kill stealing isn't... It's not really a thing anymore. People have kind of gotten over the idea of kill stealing, I think. Get over to help. It is 2v1. You probably can continue this, though. You are strong, which I like. Good. I think there was a brief thing in Ace's head going, should I run away? And then I think that little, you know, the angel on his shoulder was like, no, no, fight. Your teammates were nearby. You are incredibly fed right now compared to a lot of people in this game. So I like that you had the actual confidence going, no, I should fight this. Completely the right call. So well done. So I don't think you have to be this scared of this enemy bot lane. They are not very strong. The Yone did ping he's lagging, and now he has disconnected. So there might not be a Yone in this game right now. Obviously, Seraphine, we know, doesn't have her flash. She used it when you killed her the first time. Really nice Amumu play, actually. Well done from him. And this Amumu I actually quite like. I've even seen some Amumus recently. They go Leandri's first, die a lot in the early game, and then get tanky, but then they start doing better. This Amumu, which I actually think is the better option, has gone tanky first, Sunfire, and then he's going Leandri that gives him the damage. I really prefer that. Because again, if an Amumu gets behind in the early game, he can just find himself useless. And you're never going to be absolutely useless going tanky early. You're going to be useful. Even if it means you get into the middle of them and you get a good ultimate off, you can do that when you're tanky. If you're squishy and you got AP first, the likelihood of you just getting one shot before you can get a good combo off is pretty high. But getting Sunfire and being tanky early, you'll probably get that combo off most fights you go for. And then you get Leandri's when you've secured your early to mid game. Ooh. So that was actually quite funny. I don't think we knew that Volibear was there. He was coming for a gank. Ace ulted with obviously Grant's vision. And the Volibear is just falling apart in terms of his strength now. He is obviously trying to go for Iceborne Gauntlet, which is a good item. But he's still stupidly squishy in comparison to what a normal tanky Volibear would be. Now, obviously, it kind of sucks that it does seem that the Yone has gone. I think he was lagging, so he's just disconnected. Baron, though, straight away being called. I like the call. I do find it a bit weird that Fiora's not coming for it. You know, you could say you don't really need her. But when you're going for an early 22-minute Baron, it's risky. You know, it's fundamentally risky. So I would have liked all 5 of Ace's team to be there. Now, it is worth knowing, if this is a duo game, I don't know who Ace is duo with. There's been no obvious duo. I think the roams that have happened, that Ace has done, have not shown a clear bias. Like, he's been a bit top to try and help the Fiora, who's obviously struggling. He's been to bot lane when it's been good times to roam. So this has actually been a very good game. The only thing I would say, as I mentioned earlier, the Serpent's Fang, I 100% why you got it this game. I just don't think you needed to get it as early as you did. And obviously, yeah, Volibear's got shields as well. I don't think it's a bad purchase in the game. I just think you could have had more early game strength with a more core item, and then getting it, as I said, get it as your 3rd item or your 4th item. Because Serpent's Fang, obviously, some of the strength of the item is clearly being, you know, locked up in stopping shielding. But if you're not fighting people with shields, well, the item then isn't showing its full strength. And not every fight with a Yone, the shield is going to matter. As I said, the Seraphine's build is not the shield build. She's going AP. So it's good because of how many shields they've got, but the absolute strength of the enemy team is not relying on those shields, as it were. So I don't think you needed to prioritize the item as quick as you did. Obviously, being as strong as you are, it doesn't feel as bad because you're just fundamentally strong. I do like, again, the ultimate used to try and help over. Volibear doesn't get a good ultimate off, and obviously the bleed, when you hit your double Q, the bleed starts to happen. And this Volibear has got Iceborne complete, and he probably was feeling really confident. But he's been, as I say, like, you have to remember a lot of these Volibear kills have just been on a Fiora, where her gold worth has been going down and down and down. So not every kill Volibear's got has been worth 300 gold, because Fiora, being 0-7, she may be worth 100 gold per kill. So it kind of, the Volibear seems more fed than he actually is. Nice Nami wave, nice Amumu ult, and they do end up killing the Volibear. So if we, unfortunately gold is bugged in the replay. I can't flip to the gold tab. Because I would actually wager the Fiora is probably not that far behind in gold to the Volibear. Like, not astronomically behind. She's ahead in farm. Obviously, with also 5 towers to 2. There's been global gold. I doubt that Fiora is that far behind. But the enemy team surrender. But yeah, so far, honestly, that was actually really good. Obviously, a shame about the Yone DC, but I do feel that Ace's team would have gone on to win this game anyway. Really good play. Again, there's not much to criticize or try and, you know, coach, but it's more to say keep doing that Definitely more confidence could have happened. I think there could have at least been one 1v1 kill in the early game in lane phase against the Yone, especially specifically against the Yone. Making sure that you go back to his spirit body, whatever the hell the E, when he snaps back, it kind of covers off his escape, because that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to lure you away, so then he E snaps back and then he gets away. But if you cover off the body, then he'll feel really pressured, because then he knows that's what you're looking for, and it sometimes makes them make a mistake. I've literally seen Yones when I'm standing on his E that he wants to escape from. They panic and go, oh my god, they're waiting for me, and they try to ultimate away in their spirit mode, even though they're going to snap back to their body. It's really funny, but that does happen. But yeah, as I said, and I mentioned about the build, I like the idea of going Serpents, but I don't think you needed it as early in the game. But a lot of good stuff, even good farm. 197 farm, tied the highest in the game. It's good. It's really good. So hopefully we'll see more of Ace in the future. Hopefully we'll see a bit of climbing. Definitely with this type of playstyle, I think, yeah, climbing is going to happen. But that is going to be it. Let me know if you guys enjoy. Let me know if this helps you. Obviously, I do like doing viewer coaching, because it's more ranks that a lot of you may be in. You know, when we're playing in the higher echelons of Diamond 1 and Master and stuff, you know, 1% of players are in that rating, and less than 1% of my viewers will be in that rating. But this is more, you know, normal. It's more what a lot of you will see in your own games. But that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.